Hidden in old jars, forgotten drawers, or covered in years of dust, some of the dirtiest and oldest Lincoln pennies could secretly be worth thousands or even millions of dollars. Moneybag, these coins might look worn out or worthless, but collectors around the world are hunting for these rare treasures every single day. The magic lies in their minting errors. It could change your life instantly. So before you toss away those grimy old pennies, take a closer look. You might be holding a fortune in your hand. Imagine you're holding a regular 1964 Lincoln penny, maybe dull, a little worn, the kind you'd find at the bottom of an old drawer. But what if I told you that this very coin, if it happens to be the right kind, could be worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars? That's right. The 1964 SMS Lincoln penny is not just rare, it's legendary. A coin born out of mystery, secrecy, and controversy. Only a few examples are known to exist, and every time one surfaces, it sends shockwaves through the collector's world. Classical building history. The hidden origin of the 1964 SMS penny. The year 1964 was a turning point in U.S. coinage. The nation faced a coin shortage, and the mint was under pressure. Silver prices were rising, and the government had just announced that proof coin production would stop temporarily. NO proof coins were officially made in 1964. But somehow, a few special mint set, SMS, coins were struck. These were not your regular proof coins, nor were they ordinary circulation strikes. They were something different, smoother, sharper, glossier, with a satin-like finish never meant for the public. Money bag value. From 1 cent to $1 million rarity now. Let's talk numbers, because the value of this coin is jaw-dropping. In 2005, one 1964 SMS Lincoln penny sold at auction for over $20,000. But that was just the beginning. As more collectors became aware of its rarity, demand exploded. By 2019, another example, graded SP 68 red by PCGS, professional coin grading service, sold for a stunning $156,000. And experts believe that if a perfect SP 69 example ever appeared, it could break the $1 million barrier. Let that sink in. A coin that looks almost like every other 1964 penny could secretly be worth more than your house, your car, and maybe your entire savings combined. These aren't fantasy prices. They're real auction records, verified by major grading companies like PCGS and NGC. Magnifying glass tilted left. How to identify the 1964 SMS Lincoln pen and why if you think you might have one. Here's the exciting part. How to identify this secret millionaire penny. There are 5 key signs to look for. Satin finish. The surface has a smooth, satin-like appearance. Not mirror shiny like proofs and not dull like circulation coins. It reflects light softly, almost like silk. Sharper details. Look closely at Lincoln's hair, beard, and the edges of the letters. They appear sharper and more refined than on regular 1964 pennies. Square rims. The rims are thicker and squared off, not rounded. This is due to the special striking process used for SMS coins, the NO mint mark. All 1964 SMS pennies have no mint mark. If you see a D, Denver, it's not SMS. Die Polish lines. Many 1964 SMS examples show fine die polish lines, tiny streaks visible under magnification, showing careful preparation of the dies. If your 1964 penny matches these features, don't clean it. Keep it safe and consider getting it graded by PCGS or NGC. Even if it's not the ultra-rare SMS version, other errors from 1964 can still be valuable, including double dies, off-centers, or struck-through errors. Auction records. When a penny became a fortune, here are some of the most famous sales of the 1964 SMS Lincoln penny. Heritage Auctions, 2005 SP. 65 red, sold for $20, 700. Stacks Bowers, 2010 SP. 67 red, sold for $29, 900 at Heritage Auctions. 2019 SP. 68 red, sold for an astonishing $156,000. Experts believe fewer than 15 verified examples are in collector hands today, making this coin rarer than some 18th century U.S. gold pieces. Imagine this. You're going through an old coin jar, maybe some pennies you've ignored for years. Suddenly, you spot a 1969 Lincoln penny, dull, brown, maybe even dirty. But what if I told you that one small cent like that could be worth hundreds of thousands, even up to millions of dollars? Sounds unbelievable. Well, the truth is, one rare 1969 double die penny sold for over $100,000, and another fetched nearly $200,000 at auction. Yes, a single penny that once bought candy could now buy a luxury car or even a house. History. The birth of the 1969 Lincoln Penny. The Lincoln Memorial Cent was introduced in 1959, marking the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It replaced the classic wheat penny design and featured the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side, a modern symbol of America's legacy. By 1969, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of these coins across 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; and San Francisco, S. Most of these pennies were ordinary, made from 95% copper and 5% zinc. Value: from 1 cent to hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 1969 double die penny is one of those coins where condition and authenticity make a massive difference in value. Here's how it breaks down. Grade, condition, estimated value: fine, F, 12, $25, 000 to $35, 000, extremely fine, XF, 40, $60, 000 to $85, 000, about uncirculated, negative 55 Australian dollars, $90, 000 to $110, 000 mint state. MS, 63 red/brown, $125, 000 to $180, 000 mint state. MS, 65 red, $200, 000 to $325, 000 plus finest known. MS, 67 RD, over $500,000 to $800,000 in 2008. A PCGS MS, 64 red 1969, SDDO penny sold for $126,500 at a heritage auction. Later, another example graded MS, 65 RD broke records, exceeding $325,000. Experts agree. If a perfect MS, 67 or MS, 68 red example appears, it could easily reach over $1 million at auction. But that's right. A single penny could make you a millionaire. Brain how to identify the 1969 double die pin and why. If you think you might have one of these legendary coins, here's how to check. 1. Look for sharp doubling, not blurry or shifted. The doubling on this penny is very strong and bold, not a shadow or blur. Check these areas carefully. The word liberty. The doubling is crystal clear and widely separated. In God we trust. Each letter appears twice, distinctly. The date 1969, especially the 9s, show sharp doubling. Point 2. Mint mark. S. This is crucial. The S mint mark was added separately to the die, so it will not be doubled. If you see a doubled mint mark, it's a different and less valuable kind of error. Point 3. Die markers. Collectors have identified small markers unique to this variety, tiny die scratches or marks around Lincoln's coat and eye. These help confirm authenticity. Point 4. Get it authenticated. If you think your coin might be real, don't clean it and don't sell it locally. Send it to PCGS, NGC, or Annex for grading. A certified coin can multiply in value because buyers trust the authenticity. Famous auction sales. 2008 Heritage Auction. PCGS MS, 64 red. Sold for $126,500.2019. Stacks Bowers. MS, 65 red. Sold for $325,000.202, $2 private sale. Rumored MS, 67 red. Estimated $600,000 plus. These numbers continue to climb as fewer high-grade examples remain available.
Imagine finding a single penny that could make you rich beyond your wildest dreams. A coin that looks like any other 1964 Lincoln penny. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious, legendary, and valuable pennies in American coin history, the historical mystery of the 1964 SMS penny. At that time, the United States Mint was preparing for a major transition, from silver coins to clad coinage, due to a severe shortage of silver. The Mint was experimenting with special mint sets, SMS, high-quality strikes similar to proof coins, that would later replace regular proof sets from 1965 to 1967. What makes the 1964 SMS penny different? No mint mark. All known 1964 SMS Lincoln pennies were struck without a mint mark, meaning they came from the Philadelphia Mint. Special finish. SMS quality. Unlike regular 1964 business strike pennies, these coins have an exceptional satin-like finish. The surfaces are smooth, with a beautiful matte sheen, and not the mirror-like proof shine. Sharper details. The details, especially on Lincoln's hair, the lettering, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, are much sharper and crisper than normal 1964 cents. Squared rims. The edges of the coin are squared and well-defined, similar to proof coins, unlike the rounded rims of normal circulation cents. Die Polish lines. You can sometimes see fine dye polish lines across the fields, evidence of special preparation. Experts believe these coins were struck with extra pressure using specially polished dies, making them stand out dramatically from normal strikes. Record-breaking values and auction sales. Because of its mystery, rarity, and special striking quality, the 1964 SMS Lincoln Penny commands unbelievable prices at auctions. Trophy in 2010, a 1964 SMS Lincoln Cent graded SP68 by PCGS sold for over $11,500 at auction. Collision in 2016. Another specimen in near-perfect condition sold $4.24000. Gemstone in 2021, an ultra-high-grade example reportedly sold for more than $30,000. And get this, some coin experts and collectors believe that if one were ever found in absolutely flawless SP69 or SP70 condition, it could easily cross $100,000, or even reach the $1 million mark. That's right, a single penny potentially worth a fortune. So next time you find an old 1964 penny in your drawer, you might just be holding one of the rarest treasures in US coinage history. How to identify one in your collection? Check the finish. It should not have the usual dull look of circulated coins. Instead, look for a smooth, satin-like finish. Examine the details. The design should appear sharper and more detailed, especially the hair, lettering, and Lincoln Memorial lines. Inspect the rims. SMS coins have square, well-defined edges. Unlike the rounded rims of normal business strikes, check for die polish lines. Under magnification, look for faint, fine polish lines across the fields. These are a sign of special die preparation. Get it authenticated. If you think you have one, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can verify it and assign it an official grade and designation as SMS. Warning: important tip, because these coins are so rare, many fakes exist. Only a professional authentication can confirm a genuine 1964 SMS penny.
Imagine finding a dirty old penny from 1981 lying in your drawer or change jar, something you wouldn't give a second glance. But what if I told you that this simple copper coin could secretly be worth thousands or even millions of dollars? Face screaming in fear. Yes, it's true. The 1981 Lincoln Penny might look ordinary, but hidden among billions of coins are a few mysterious error and variety pennies that are so rare and valuable they've shocked collectors and auction houses alike. The history of the 1981 Lincoln Penny. The 1981 Lincoln Penny marks the final full year of the traditional copper composition, a mix of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin. For over a century, pennies had been struck primarily from copper. But in 1982, due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-plated zinc penny weighing 2.5 grams instead of 3.11 grams. Magnifying glass tilted left the rare 1981 S-Type 2 proof penny. A collector's dream. The 1981 S-Type 2 proof Lincoln Cent is one of the most valuable modern proof coins you can find. Here's the story. In 1981, the San Francisco Mint struck proof pennies for collectors using an S mint mark. But halfway through the year, they changed the design of the S mint mark from a filled, blob-like S Type 1 to a sharper, clear S Type 2. The Type 2 was used on only a small number of coins before the Mint switched to the 1982 issues, making it incredibly scarce. And the value? Hold onto your seat. 1981 S-Type 2 proof penny, PR 69 DCM, worth $200 to $500. Perfect PR 70 deep cameo examples have sold for $2,000 to over $5,000. Some early auction sales even reached $7,500 plus for flawless mirror finish examples. That it's one of the most desirable modern proof varieties, and collectors hunt them relentlessly. Puzzle piece transitional planchet error. Such an error could easily reach $10,000 to $25,000 or more, possibly even six figures depending on condition and proof. Record auction sales. Some incredible 1981 pennies have stunned the coin world with their auction results. 1981 S-Type 2 proof, PR 70 DCM, sold for $6,325 at Heritage Auctions. 1981 DRPM Mint error, MS66 red, went for $1,200.1981 off-center penny, 50%. Sold for $900.1981 double die reverse, MS65 red, fetch $1,500. Each of these sales proves one thing. Even modern-era pennies can carry massive value when rare varieties or mint mistakes are involved. Imagine finding a simple brown penny in your change, old, dirty, and seemingly worthless. But what if I told you that a 1983 D Lincoln penny the kind you might toss aside without a thought. Some of these small copper-coated treasures have stunned collectors around the world, selling for record-breaking prices. So, before you spend that penny, grab your magnifying glass, because this coin might just be your ticket to life-changing fortune. Scroll the history of the 1983 D. Lincoln Penny. The 1983 D. Penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, designed by Victor David Brenner, featuring the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The D. Mint mark stands for Denver Mint, where millions of these coins were struck. However, 1983 was a transitional year for U.S. pennies. Just 1 year earlier, in 1982, the composition of the penny changed from 95% copper and 5% zinc to a cheaper zinc core with a thin copper coating. This switch was made to save production costs, but it also created a series of transitional errors, and that's where the 1983 D penny becomes truly exciting. Moneybag. The value of the 1983 D penny. While most 1983 D pennies are only worth face value, just 1 cent, the rare transitional copper version or certain double die errors can fetch astonishing prices. Here's a breakdown of the values. Regular 1983 D zinc penny. Face value to about 10 cents to $1 in circulated condition. Mint state, MS, 65 or higher. Regular coins, around $5. $25.1983. D copper penny. Transitional error worth $15,000 to over $40,000, depending on condition and certification. 1983. D double die reverse. DDR can sell from $250 to over $5,000 based on clarity and grade. Proof-like or uncirculated examples. In pristine condition, some could command tens of thousands of dollars. White heavy checkmark. The most famous 1983 D copper penny was confirmed by professional graders and weighed approximately 3.11 grams. Unlike the standard 2.5 g zinc penny, it sold at auction for over $15,000, and experts believe there are still more out there waiting to be found. Magnifying glass. Tilted left. How to identify a rare 1983 D penny. To determine if your 1983 D penny is the rare one, you'll need to check a few key details. Look for the mint mark. The D under the date stands for Denver Mint. That's the first step. The rare transitional pennies were struck there. Weigh your coin. Zinc penny, 2.5 grams. Copper penny, 3.11 grams. Use a precise digital scale. If your coin weighs around 3.1 grams, congratulations, you might have one of the ultra-rare copper transitional errors. Check for double dies. Examine the date, Liberty, and In God We Trust. If you notice any doubling in these areas, you may possess a double die variety. Another high-value feature. Use magnification. A 10x jeweler's loupe or microscope can reveal fine details that are invisible to the naked eye. Get professional verification. If your coin appears to be copper or shows doubling, have it authenticated by a professional grading service such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. Brain the auction legends. Let's look at some real-world sales that have stunned collectors and investors alike. 1983 D copper penny, sold for $15,000. Heritage auctions confirmed by PCGS as struck on a 95% copper planchet. 1983 D double die reverse, sold for $3,000. One of the strongest DDR varieties ever found. High-grade 1983 D in MS68 red, sold for $1,250. A record for a non-error example, showing the growing demand for perfect condition coins. These incredible values show that even a 1 cent coin can be worth more than a car or even a house, if it's the right variety.